Hello, and welcome back to Let's Play Planescape Torment with me, BringItDon. So we're going to go into the Art and Curio Galleria. I keep trying to say Galleria. That's not right. Alright, in we go. See what awaits us. Okay, looks like there's a bunch of interactable art pieces. Oh, it's actually not that big. We'll start down here. This painting shows what looks to be an infinitely long stream of bilious green gas, stretching off into the distance. The horizon of a blasted, rocky plain can be seen in the lower right-hand corner of the painting. One has given the impression that the head of the green cloud is rearing to strike down upon it. A placard reads, Hazazoth at the consumption of Nagar, or Engar. Oh, Yavanna, there's actually a named person. Let's talk to her. Before you is a well-dressed elderly woman in a gown of peach-colored and golden thread. She stands quietly, her hands folded together primly, and nods in your direction. It is then that you notice that she has no pupils. Her eyes are entirely white. Greetings, sir. I am Yavanna. Welcome to my... Let's say it right. Galleria. There we go. I always default to Galleria. Sounds like a sci-fi planet or something. Anyway, feel free to look about, spending as much time here as you like. Should you have questions regarding any of the pieces, do not hesitate to ask me of them. I have some questions. One moment, sir. Your voice. It is heavy with age and wounds. Would you be so kind as to permit me to touch your face? Yes, go ahead. Yavanna smiles, gently running her old hands over the skin of your face. She frowns, looking slightly puzzled. So many scars, both old and new. They seem to... She touches the side of your throat, flushes, then pulls away. Pardon me, sir. I was curious to see how far they went. It's fine, and they're everywhere. My whole body is scarred. Yavanna nods. I had some questions. Of course, please ask. Can you see, Yavanna? I cannot see, but only because I do not wish to. In time, I will allow my vision to return so that I can re-experience the contents of my Galleria... Galleria, with the benefit of new, fresh eyes. I don't know what it is about this word, but it's tricky. Anyway. Do you know what this little cube-like toy creature is? Yavanna takes the item and drags her fingers along it. She feels along the exterior of the object and hands it back to you. It's more than just a well-crafted toy Modron, that's for certain. It may be some sort of puzzle box or portal key. What's a Modron? Modrons are a race of lawful, orderly beings. They come in many shapes and forms, each one occupying a different level in the rigid Modron hierarchy. I think this sort is called a quadrone. Okay. What is this place? Why, it's my... Galleria of the Plains. She smiles and gestures around her. These pieces have been brought from far and wide. Some I sell, some I keep. All I display, at one time or another. Please, enjoy them. And again, should you have any questions regarding any of the pieces, do not hesitate to ask me of them. What is of interest here? I'm afraid that I did not go far beyond... from beyond the Galleria, and cannot help you with this matter. You might try and ask someone else. Where could I find work here? I'm afraid that That's the same exact response, okay. What do you know of Ravel Puzzlewell? She is a night hag, one of the eldest Grey Sisters of the Wastes, who came into Sigil many centuries ago to pursue arcane experiments. It was believed that these experiments were against the lady's will, and that Ravel was thus banished from Sigil, imprisoned within one of the lady's mazes on the ethereal where her body rests to this very day. Go on. Ravel was said to have been a master of riddles and puzzles, but it was believed that one riddle, one question in particular, was said to have plagued ancient night hag. What can change the nature of a man? Go on. She issued a challenge to any who were interested. She promised to instruct any who came to her in her craft if they could only answer the question to her satisfaction. If they could not, they consented to be her next meal. Many died coveting Ravel's teachings, and it is believed that, until her final hours in Sigil, Ravel never discovered the answer to her question. Go on. Ravel's crime was believed to be some means of trying to shatter the cage, trying to crack open Sigil itself for some unknown reason. Yavanna sighs. This is all I know of her. Okay. I had a question about one of the pieces. Oh, which one? One of the paintings? Yes, one of the paintings. Okay, so I guess if you have to look at each one first. Hazazoth at the consumption of Engar, or Nagar. This painting is a copy from the wall of one of the gatehouses, Sigil's largest asylum, cell walls. All the occupant could speak was, Hazazoth has consumed Ingar. Hazazoth has consumed Ingar. A bit frightening, I think, but a fine painting nonetheless. Yeah, because it's the only one I can currently ask about. Oh, let's look at this thing. Animated chain. An animated, bloody iron chain, coiling and uncoiling upon itself. The chain itself seems to bend and weave like the spine of a snake. A small placard reads, Chitin's animate chain from jangling hitter? Touch the chain. The chain is slightly warm to the touch, as if it were alive. You notice that various barbs, tiny hooks, needles, and other small sharp bits are welded along the chain's length. Leave.
Alright.
Alright, let's look at this thing. Dark birds of Oakenthus. Several shards of black crystal, or ice, swirl within the freezing wind that this ornate pedestal gives forth. Each shard looks razor sharp. Touching or grabbing one could be perilous. A placard on the pedestal reads, Dark birds of Oakenthus. Oh, look at that, and catch one in my frost ale mug. You dip the mug into the icy wind rising from the pedestal, catching a small shard with a slight clang. Peering into the mug, you can see that the dark bird is a razor-sharp sliver of black ice. Only the mug's magical properties prevent the shard from melting away to nothing. So do I have... And what do I do with that? But cool.
Done.
Cool regardless. This painting depicts a shore scene with a wide reddish-orange sun setting behind a peninsula or a large jetty. The scene, though unoriginal, is breathtaking. The play of the fading daylight across the water is captured perfectly, but staring at the painted sun for any length of time makes your eyes ache. A placard reads, Service of Delasia. Touch the painting. Oddly enough, there is nothing unusual about the surface of the painting.
I'm gone.
This painting shows an enormous granite keep, a hideous thing, long and low, covered in leering gargoyles, suspended in what looks to be the night sky. A cloud of crimson and violet vapors whirls in the background. Along the right side of the painting, a placard reads simply, The Library.
All right.
Okay. This painting is a dark cityscape, a faraway view of some giant center of civilization being burned to the ground. The streets of the place are empty, however, absent of soldiers, refugees, and even corpses. A placard reads, The Folly of Odo. Reminds me a little bit of the Doctor Who episode where he goes and he sees the painting, shoot, what's it called? Name of his planet falls. But it's also, what is the name of his planet? Son of a gun. It's on the tip of my tongue. But like, there's also an alternate name to the painting. Whatever it is stands, I think. Anyway, this looks to be a subterranean landscape. A massive cavern interior filled with colorful, faintly luminescent, gigantic fungi. A placard reads, Veil beneath Clangidon. So, what is the name of... Oh boy, that's gonna bother me. It'll come to me, I'm sure. Let's see, this is a portrait of a grotesque, hook-nosed old crone. The hag's flesh is sickly blue-gray color. Her eyes glow red like the embers of a dying fire. Her chin, long and sharp, juts forward in an extreme underbite. Two yellowed canines protrude upwards from her lower jaw like small tusks. The smile upon her withered purplish lips speaks of a horrible secret. A placard reads, Grey Hag of Oinos. Leave. As you begin to turn away from the painting, something in it draws your attention. A strange tingling sensation arises in the back of your mind. A memory beginning to surface. Try and recall the memory. You recall standing, confused, in a maze of briars. The hideous crone from the painting is before you, cackling wildly. You grit your teeth in frustration, wondering why she's laughing at you. My poor dear, lovely man-thing, she croons. Why, that was your first wish. She points a single bony clawed finger at your forehead. Your temples begin to throb painfully, and you can remember nothing more.
I'm gone.
Okay, so I'm assuming we have something to do with the Crag of Oinos, or Hag, sorry, not Crag. This looks like a portal. Wait a second, can I interact with these as well? But there's nothing, okay, I'll go back and look at those. The surface of this painting, a wild collage of vivid colors, ripples constantly, as if it were the surface of a pond during a light rain. A placard reads, Wave Motion Study Number 7. Touch the painting. You place your palm against the canvas. You cannot feel the ripples themselves, though a cool, tingling sensation passes through your hand at first contact. Let's go back. Check these bad boys out. The hundreds of chips of translucent green glass which make up this stained glass window don't appear to be held together by anything, but rather remain free-floating and mysteriously suspended within the iron frame's boundaries. The shards ripple and move in slow waves, causing bizarre patterns to fluctuate across the window's surface as various portions of it refract the Galleria's light in different directions. A small placard beside the window reads, Arcadian stained glass window. Touch the glass. Reach out to touch the undulating glass shards, but find you cannot do so. Your hand stops just short of the surface of the glass. Punch it. You succeed only in bruising your knuckles. The glass may as well be sheet iron. Alright.
Alright.
A set of 4 paintings which portray an empty beach in the dead of night. The air surrounds the painting smells faintly of brine, and the painted sea seems to ebb and flow across the darkened shore. A placard reads, Karasuthran Shoreline. Sniff at the painting. The surface of the painting smells strongly of sea air. Touch the painting. You place your hand on the painting, not knowing quite what to expect, but it is merely the texture of painted canvas that you feel beneath your fingertips. Okay.
Alright.
I really like these little areas, this and like the the curiosity shop. Because, I don't know, it just gives you like a greater insight into the world. Just how bizarre it can be, how alien. Anyway, this painting, an abstract work of greens and purples, writhes and ripples as it's watched. Closer examination reveals that the actual painted image is changing, rather than the canvas itself. A placard states, Moments glance from the walls of Makuma. Touch the painting. You place your hand upon the painting. As you have suspected, it is not that the canvas is physically moving, but that the painted image itself is changing.
Alright.
Alright.
Hey, Chief, they say we get rid of Ignis, alright? I mean, he's burning his candle at both ends. If you know what I mean.
Oh, Mort. Alright, one moment. And... Alright, the statue looks like it is about to make some angry proclamation. The sculptor has captured the essence of fury magnificently. The chiseled tension lines around the neck and the forehead alone must have taken many long months to get correct. Fine cracks run over the entire statue, and there's a plaque attached to its base. Read the plaque. The plaque reads, The statue is believed to be the final fate of the Apothecary sorcerer Gangroi Gaidon. Attacked by a conclave of rival sorcerers at the height of his dream madness, he was imprisoned with a spell that turned his flesh to stone. Gangroi Haidon is said to have been frozen with a final, awful curse upon his lips, a curse so terrible that it was never meant to be spoken by the lips of a living man. Okay, let's examine the statue first before I apply that. The statue looks like it's about to make... Okay, examine the cracks. You carefully examine the cracks that run like a network of fine black veins across the statue's surface. At one point, near its inner arm, is a section where an entire splinter of stone looks ready to come off. Yeah, break the piece off. You reach for the section of the forearm where the cracks have formed, grip it firmly, and yank, to no avail. You'll need a hammer to break the stone, and a small one. The limited space between the statue's arm and body means a large one. One suitable for combat, for instance, won't work. And I sold... I think I know what I need. I bet you I need the forge hammer from that Godsman.
I'm gone.
Let's go grab that real quick.
Done.
At least I'll give that a shot if that doesn't work. Because that's the only small hammer that I know of.
I'm gone.
All the other hammers that we found so far have been the two-handed combat hammers that they specifically said will not work.
All right.
I forgot how loud it is in this place. Anyway. Yeah, I'm sorry, but that sounds more like 40 copper to me. What am I thinking? Of course it is. I tell you, memory's an insidious thing. That it is. Alright, give me the stuff. Okay, I don't really care about the other stuff, but I'll give it to Mort. Oh yeah, and I forgot the Lady of Pain ragdoll. We never actually tried the truth option with that. We'll do that after we're done with the Galleria.
Done.
But first,
All right.
we're gonna finish the Galleria because it's come on, there we go. Actually, you know what? Hold on.
What's up? She has the personality of a patch of red sickness twice as ugly.
Oh, did I do it? Hold on. There we go. Oh, holy crap, she died. Oh, and I have, Ray's dead. Alright. Oh, holy crap. Oh no, this is all her stuff. Right? I'm gonna just drop all these keys. I do not need these anymore. Oh, she lost all of her equipment as well. Shoot. I didn't realize she had more than one earring slot. I don't know what the small red key is for. I remember finding it in the Tenement of Thugs, I think is what it was called. But I never found a use for it. So we continue to hold on to it for now. Let's go rest real quick, get her back up to snuff. I didn't realize she was the one taking all the damage. Like, I saw the red numbers, but I was like, oh, that's fine. He won't kill anybody. Let's run again. Alright, she should be good enough.
All right.
Alright, back to the Galleria. Man. Alright, Clerk's Ward. Hello.
I'm gone.
We're back. Let's go chip off that chip. The regular old chip off the old block. What's that? You can't determine what this odd device is. I'll probably ask the Mercy Killers, or the Harmonium guys that are standing beside it. Alright, examine the cracks and break the piece off. Okay, you reach for the section of the forearm where the cracks have formed, grip it firmly, and strike it with your forge hammer. There is the barest sound of metal striking on stone, and a splinter the size of a dagger snaps off the statue. Got it. As it comes free, you feel water begin to trickle in the back of your hand. You watch a tear well up in the eyes of the statue as the splinter of the arm comes off in your hands. You quickly and quietly tuck away the splinter and turn away from the crying statue. Oh my goodness. It is alive. Mad Splinter. 2 to 5 piercing, poisons target, fragile and breakable. Okay, so it's most likely that the fell curse trapped upon Gangrey Hydron's lips has soaked into the very stone of this petrified form, or of his petrified form, and poisons those the splinter stabs with his malicious magic. Yeah, because I had this hammer, but I guess it didn't count. I should really organize some of this stuff off camera. So I feel like a lot of this stuff is going to be important. Oh well. Let's apply the Gorgon salve to him.
All right.
Let's see what happens. Apply the Gorgon salve to the statue. You smear the foul-smelling ointment over the statue. There's a strange shimmering around the statue, and you watch as the statue takes an intake of breath, and the eyes of Gangry Hydron fill with a blazing, vengeful madness. I should probably cover my ears. Before you can do a thing, a blazing torrent of words flies from the sorcerer's lips. As he speaks, you feel an agonizing sensation, like a sudden wave of raging heat pour over you and settle into your skin like a blistering wound. Blindness strikes you as your eyes burst, running from their sockets like shattered eggs. You hear someone screaming and realize it is you. Wait for the horror to end. Last things you hear, even over your own cries, is Mort shouting.
New taunts, alright.
Alright, so Mort's litany of curses got a little stronger. Wow, the lady's bladed teats. What a... Everything suddenly falls silent as the last of your senses flicker and fade, away to nothing. Die horribly, a victim of Gangry Hydron's awful curse.
Encore, encore.
All right.
This is where we come back. Okay, that's not too bad. I thought I was gonna go back to the mortuary, but I think the way it works is wherever. There's just different respawn points throughout.
Done.
Shoot, down here. Yeah, I haven't died in a while, so that's nice. A nice change of pace.
All right.
Hey, it's gone. Or he's gone. That's probably not good. The statue, in truth the once petrified sorcerer Gangry Hydron, Gangry Gaidon, is simply gone. I've been saying Hydon, but it's a Gangry Gaidon. There we go. It's simply gone, presumably having walked off without leaving so much as a note of apology.
Done.
Alright. It's like a phoenix, right? A brilliant ruby statuette stands on this pedestal, carved into the image of a winged humanoid. The figure is either demonic or angelic in nature, but it's difficult to tell which, because it refracts the light in the Galleria strangely. There's no placard indicating what exactly the statue is.
I'm gone.
It's like a giant mead horn. A massive horn of beaten lead wound with brazen chains. The horn is horribly mangled, as if some tremendous force had crushed it. Jagged blades protrude along its length, almost if it were meant to be used as a club by some gigantic creature, as well as a battle horn. A placard mounted beneath the horn reads, "Cleansing Horn of Acheron," or Acheron. Put your head against the wall, try and blow the horn. Try as you might, you can get no sound to issue from the massive horn. Your lips come away from the mouthpiece, tasting of blood, smoke, and metal.
All right.
A painting of tall, black cliffs against a blood-red sky. There looks to be figures hiding amongst the crags of the cliffs, but whenever you squint at the painting trying to make them out, the images fade into nothing. A placard reads, "Outland Raiders."
I'm gone.
Alright, let's talk to Ivana about everything we saw. Yes, I do. The Arcadian stained glass window. A stained glass window found hovering on the third layer of Arcadia 32 years ago, foretelling a scene that had yet to occur. When the event came to pass, the images faded to leave what you saw behind. It is believed to have captured both the light and darkness from the orb of night and day on Arcadia, then slowly release it, creating a brief but slow fade of dawning and dusk, but only within the glass itself. Orb of day and night, Arcadia. Arcadia is a plane of peaceful order, also known as the land of perfect good. The orb of night and day is a sphere set in the top of Arcadia's highest peak. Each half emits either light or darkness. The turning of the orb gives Arcadia its day and night. Okay. The battle horn of Acheron. The cleansing horn. A horn of beaten lead, metal drawn directly from the cube of Acheron. It is said that the cleansing horn last sounded where the companies of the Jackal and the Gouged Eye clans met for their battle at the disputed lands. Legends tell us that this horn's power was used near the battle's end to draw the floating cubes together, crushing the routing company of the Jackal before it could escape. Cubes. Acheron. Acheron is the plane of harshly enforced order, where conformity is more important than good. It is composed of gigantic metallic cubes which float through an endless void. Many cubes are large enough that cities or entire kingdoms have been built upon their faces. Alright, the Dark Birds of Ocanthus.
Updated my journal.
All of them are chipped from the great magical sheet of black, infinite ice that rests in the black belly of the plane of Ocanthus. Ivana pauses, tapping her chin. It is said that this sheet of ice is the final destination of the river Styx, and that the recollections of all that have plunged into the Styx's memory, destroying waters, Sorry, let me restart. And that the recollections of all that have plunged into the Styx memory-destroying waters still lie frozen within the ice. If the waters of the Styx destroy one's memories, could this ice from Ocanthus do the same? I can only assume so, yes. Okay. The Ruby Statuette. That piece was found in a cathedral in the fertile fields of Elysium, on the first layer, Amoria the Untroubled, where it bordered the river Oceanus. It's a weird name for a river. The name of the piece is not known, but the skill and craftsmanship are believed to be one of the most striking examples of gem crafting in the plains. The mere way in which the piece captures, distills, and enhances the light through its facets is part of its breathtaking wonder. It seems to bring to light the possible ideological connection between even the most evil and purest beings in the multiverse. Fascinating. The Chiton's animate chain. The chain comes from the city of Jingling Hider, the city of chains that hangs on the Menoros, third layer of Bador. The chains there are the finest in the multiverse, but the inhabitants of Jingling Hider are malicious and cruel, using the chains as living weapons against all that enter their city and violate their laws. Chitons move about the city of chains as spiders upon webs, adorned in chains woven tightly around their bodies. Chitons possess a power known as the Gift of Chains, which allows them to manipulate chains with their minds. It is believed that my Galleria's chain was animated during a battle in which the Chiton controlling it was slain with a cursed hammer. Its life essence then passed into the chain itself. The statue of the Screaming Man. Odd you should ask about that. Just after a terrible noise, some patrons came running to me about a mangled corpse on the floor. Harmonium came to remove the body from the premises, but could find no perpetrator. I told them that, in all likelihood, some madman had released BringItDon and been slain by his curse, but the old sorcerer himself was nowhere to be found. I know nothing more. Let's discuss the paintings. The Karasuthran Shoreline. Karasuthra is a layer of the Beastlands, which is perpetually shrouded in night, filled with all manner of animals that stalk their prey in the darkness. A painter who had fallen in love with a cat lord and followed her to her homeland gave the paintings to me. Never did he reveal to me the secrets of their construction. The Outland Raiders. An interesting piece, yes? The painter managed a most interesting effect with the forms in the cliff's shadows. The woman who brought me this piece told me she found it in an abandoned camp on the Outlands. The original painter was never found. Presumably, they were slain by the same raiders whose image they captured in the painting. Alright, surface of the Lasia. The Lasia is the sea in which the river Oceanus, which winds through most of the plain of Elysium, begins and ends. The piece was painted by one of the many island's inhabitants. The library. I know very little about this piece. It simply arrived on the doorstep of my Galleria one day, swathed in black cloth and labeled, "From the Citadel." One knowledgeable patron hypothesized that it might be some great sorcerer's fortress, suspended within a demi-plane of their own creation. The Folly of Odo. This painting illustrates one of the legends of the prime world Goha. Udo was a wizard king of such skill and power that he set to casting a spell that would turn himself into a power, and the people of his great nation into divine servants. With the spell's completion, lightning crashed down around Udo's palace, setting it ablaze, and before the thunder had died away, the city was empty. Not a living thing to be found. Over 70,000 people vanished without a trace, and a heartbeat. No one knows the fate of Udo or his people. Veil beneath Klangedin. Bulbog Stonenose sold this painting to me. It is of a field beneath Mount Klangedin, home of the dwarf Einherjar, spirits of the upper planes who serve as guardians of warriors in the plane of Arcadia. Grey Hag of Oinos. This is said to be a portrait of Ravel Puzzlewell, very likely the most evil hag to ever terrorize the Grey Waste and beyond. Alright, we've already asked her about all of this. Let's get through this real quick. Wave Motion Study number 7. A young man whose name I do not know sold me this piece. It was one of several he had, but the others already had owners, or so he said. I'd so like to possess the entire collection, but alas, it oft seems some things are not meant to be. Okay, I think we're done in here, so let's scoot out. Alright, to the Apothecary?
I'm gone.
Oh, let's see if we can find out what this thing is. This large red-armored figure is standing in place, carefully watching passersby. You dimly recall that his ornate armor marks him as our officer of the Harmonium, one who provides law enforcement for the city. Greetings. The man's eyes rove over the ward's inhabitants, rather than you when he speaks. Move along. I had some questions. Though most of his attention is still directed at passersby, he takes a moment to look you in the eyes. Nothing for you here. Move along. I just need a few answers. He shakes his head. Speak to a citizen, then. I have a job to do here, and I won't neglect it to speak with you or anyone else. Now move along. Okay.
Done.
Well, I'm not going to instigate anything with the Harmonium. This low table is littered with containers. You know, my tongue feels numb today, so sorry if I'm stumbling over my words. Except for Galleria, because I keep trying to say Galleria. Anyway, this low table is littered with containers, holding various powders, liquids, shavings, and the like. They are unlabeled, and you don't recognize any of the substances immediately.
Alright.
Wow, Pestle Kiln. That's his name. Of course it is. You see a wall-eyed fellow whose skin seems to writhe and ripple across his entire body. He is smacking his chapped lips with a blotched tongue. As you watch, his right eye moves independently of the left, focusing on you. A second later, the left one flicks to look your way, then reverts to its original position. The right eye blinks. A strange gurgling comes from his throat. Greetings. The man gives a lopsided grin and points at himself with his right thumb. Pestle, I'm called the Alchemist. He points at himself again, this time with his left index finger. The name's Kiln. Needy something? Are you alright? I am, Hagak. His throat convulses for a moment, then relaxes. A large green glowing pustule suddenly bursts from the side of his neck. Something you needed then, sir? Gawk. His throat clenches again, and a wave of quivering flesh swallows the blistering green pustule back beneath the skin of his throat. He coughs violently for a moment, then seems to relax. Phew. May I ask what happened to you? Left eye rolls upward in exasperation. The right eye looks askance. Too much to drink. Too much of what, though? Potions. I drink. Too many potions. Vergaug. His mouth slides down beneath his chin. His left nostril forms another one. The most I ever drank, that's for certain. Of polymorphin they were, and prude. Hergurk. In limbo. Anything I can do to help? The man's eyes turn inwards to look at each other, then back to you. Don't know, Fung. He shudders. The mouth below his chin moves up to envelop one of his nostril. The one his nostril formed. Jeez. This sort of thing happens quite often. We can't seem to help but sample the stock. If you find a way to help, the two of us would be grateful, sir. I had another question. Half of his mouth curls downward into a frown. He shakes his head. Work in the stockroom all day, I do. Gawk. He shudders violently. Suddenly, a third eye pops open over the bridge of his nose. The left one shifts sideways as the new one takes its place. I speak only of the Fernac store, sir. That said, the skin of his face seems to eat the new eye, and the left one returns to its old location. The old engineer in the foundry tells me I need to get a sample of my blood and skin for his machine to work. I need you to do that for me. A scraping? Very schneek. Well. His right hand takes up a razor blade, his left, a wide-mouthed bottle. He removes a small section of skin from your forearm, placing it in the bottle along with a small quantity of your blood. He then places some gauze over your wound and hands you the bottle. Need anything? Gugak? More, sir? Yes, I wanted to purchase something. Jeez Louise. Like, I think the Clerk's Ward is the most fun that I've had in the game so far. It's just like the most Planescape-y area. So you see Pestle Kiln. He, or they, is as eerie to look upon as ever, as his flesh constantly changes and crawls across his face and body. I welcome ye, Snurf. Back, sir. Some questions. Alright, we've already done most of that. Let's, I've got this elixir of horrific separation. Do you think that'd help you? Both his eyes suddenly snap to the small bottle in your hands. He nods, smacking his lips. Well, here you are, then. Pestle Kiln takes the bottle in both his hands and places it beneath the counter. His left eye focuses on you, while his right eye and hand concentrate on scribbling furiously on the countertop. We can use this to make something that'll fix us. Pagurk, right on up. Now, if you'll give us a moment, when we got it all worked, Gak, out, we'll make you some healing stuffs for a reward. He turns to head to the back of the shop. Alright, farewell for now then. Alright. This man's face closely resembles Pestle Kiln's, though without the crawling skin and constant subtle mutations. Greetings again. The name's Kiln. Need you something? I was hoping to get some healing concoctions. Did you talk to Pestle yet? He's the one that'll handle that for you. Oh, okay. They are separate. I had some questions. I work in the stockroom all day, I do. I'm no good to ask your questions of. Could I buy something then? Had to talk to Pestle about that. I think I exhausted. Yeah. Alright. Let's go talk to Pestle.
I'm gone.
This man closely resembles Pestle Kiln, though without the crawling skin and constant subtle mutations. Greetings again, sir, and well met. And what is it I, Pestle, can do for you? I was hoping to get some healing concoctions. Yes, of course. Your reward, I. Let's see now. I manufacture them for ye for nothing, of course, but I'll need the proper ingredients. An Oni's heart, or powdered hematite, or the hair of a deva, or a thread from an Asimon's robe, or the blood of a regenerating creature, such as a troll, or... Actually, my wounds heal very quickly. Pestle raises an eyebrow. Do they now? Well, then your own blood just might do. Here, give me a sample if you would. Give him a bit of your blood. After drawing a small quantity of your blood and retreating to the back of the store, Pestle returns with a number of what appear to be hardened drops of blood. Placed upon one's tongue, these clot charms will heal existing wounds and aid in the prevention of new ones, for a time. Thanks, Pestle. I had some questions. My humblest apologies, sir, but I only speak of the store. Besides, I rarely leave the place, you see. You'd be better off finding another to answer your questions. Okay, so how many clot charms? 10. Oh, it's not bad. I should probably... I'm just gonna use some of these up, because they're not super valuable. Alright, so we're done with that. And,
Done.
I guess in the next episode we'll go back to... the Godsman to the Foundry and turn in the bottle that I got. And then we'll continue exploring Clerk's Ward, which has been a blast so far. I am loving Clerk's Ward. Anyway, thanks for watching, and hope to see y'all in the next episode.